So it's time for something which we call the intimacy bubble. This is the one that guys generally miss out. I've even been with students on dates with a hidden microphone because they've asked me to hear what they're doing on their date. And I've sat there in a pub for like 2.5 hours, 3 hours listening to him talking about holidays and cats and his motorbike and her hobbies. And then they go home. And he's like, she didn't call me back. Okay, because you didn't spike it. And you didn't reveal that you want to be more than friends. So now's the time we've got to become Mr. Seducer, okay? Not in a heavy way, don't worry, you'll see what I mean. This is the intimacy bubble. It's a big one, it's number 6, and it's going to take place in a venue that would be something like the corner of the bar downstairs, a cocktail bar, a wine bar, or if you're not into drinking, just somewhere dark and secluded, okay? It's a place which automatically signals to the girl that this is sexy. Not sexual, sexy, yeah? So I want you to think of somewhere near your house or in your town, somewhere where you can take a girl. If you're at college and you don't drink alcohol, it's fine. Alcohol's not part of it. You just need somewhere intimate. And there's plenty of coffee shops. There's one in London called Joe and the Juice, which is really dark, has sofas and chill out music, all right? It's just a place where you're gonna sit next to her. Now is the time to sit next to her, okay? So let's get Lizzie back up. She's walked to the venue with me. I've checked out her arse. It's average, it's okay. How are we doing? Are we all in shot? Thanks, Diana. Okay. Can you come across a little bit, Lizzie? Is that good? Yeah. Okay. So we're going to find somewhere where we can sit next to each other. You should have checked out the venue already to make sure that there's seating. Don't leave it to chance, and it's a full venue, and you're like, oh, there's nowhere to sit. You should have checked it out. Do logistics. Okay, so I'm sitting with Lizzie. You can lean back, so it's not kind of interviewee. Do the same trick where one of you's gone to the bar. It's her round anyway, so often she buys the cocktails at this point. Do you see how I bought the beer and she bought the cocktails? 50-50. And they fall for it every time. So you're sitting here with the cocktails, the lights are lower, there's a bit of chill out music. Let's see what we do. Topics. I'll stand up for this so I can see you. What kind of topics are seductive topics, not seedy topics? Any ideas?
What kind of man you like?
Very, very good. Yeah.
You can say that's no good.
Very good, yeah. Spot on. What kind of men Lizzie's into? What kind of person Lizzie finds attractive? And you can start in a very gentle way by talking about film stars, celebrities, and TV shows, yeah? You don't need to just say, so, what kind of men do you like? Remember, all of this is in context. So I might say, do you know what? I saw this film the other day with Daniel Day-Lewis. What do you think of Daniel Day-Lewis? La, 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 yeah? Find a commonality, talk about it. The theme of relationships in general. So we want to start talking about relationships now. But we don't want to talk about her ex-boyfriends. Common mistake. She might start telling me about her ex-boyfriends, but I've got to cut her off cunningly. I've got to get back onto my track, okay? Dating in general. So remember I said we could be sitting here and we could kick off by looking around the bar and looking at other people on dates. And we can talk about dating and her experiences of dating. Funny dates, date disasters. Because by telling me her date disasters, she's automatically separating me from those men who would date disasters. Do you see what I mean? So if I say to her, oh my God, like, look at that couple over there, that's really intense. What's your worst kind of date in London you've been on so far? And we have a laugh about dating. We're on the same team. So we're like a couple anyway, okay? One more piece of advice is to not give advice. Because many men think that when a woman asks for advice, that they need to answer it with logic. Again, she's not looking for advice, she's just looking for you to listen, all right? So don't get into that best friend thing of giving her dating advice or solving all her relationship problems or her romantic ideal problems. You need to keep control of the conversation. Another good topic is her body, all right? Now, you can't just come straight out. Whoa, look at your legs. Whoa, look at your gorgeous stomach. You need to talk about her body if you can, first of all, in third person. So an example is that I went to Miami. And do you know, in Miami, everybody just has fake boobs. I can't believe it. Have you ever been to Miami?
No.
It's so ridiculous, right? It's the only place where I've seen women going up to other women and touching their boobs. But it's like so accepted. Same with lips. These are real, aren't they?
Yeah.
I'm just checking. See it? See the difference? How that's not pervy. But me just suddenly talking about somebody's boobs is creepy and pervy. Third person, use it and abuse it. My friend said that, I know this guy, right? And when he went to North London, he found this tattoo shop, right? And he got this done with his girlfriend, right? Do you see the difference? Rather than me saying, let's have a look at your tattoos. Do you have any tattoos? I'm cleverly turning the conversation onto her body. Another good one is yoga. Because I can say, wow, you look really good. You know, do you do a lot of yoga? How do you keep a good body? Spot the spike. How do you keep a great shape? Because you've got really good legs, but what's the secret? Like, how do you keep in shape?
I run sometimes, but usually I just sleep.
Oh, so lazy. A lazy, sexy cat.
Cat.
A cat, yeah. You remind me of a cat. A very sexy cat, but a lazy cat. Push, pull, tease, challenge, all the bits of attraction, yeah? Now we're getting a bit heavier. There you go. Relationships, choice of men, talking about her body. Don't give her any advice. Don't be the best friend. Stories in third person. Now, when I was beginning this bubble, learning this bubble, it is a bit tricky, isn't it? Because if you're the nice guy, you're not used to getting sexual, basically. You're not used to sexual conversations. You're not used to being dirty. You're not used to being flirty, cheeky, touching, kissing. This is a huge problem for men right here. They've done the comfort. Maybe they've done a couple of spikes. Oh, I tried to kiss her and she said no. That's right, because she's not ready. She's not ready to be kissed. She's not ready to be touched. We've got to rack it up. We've got to rack up the tension. I've got to take some risks. There's no other way of doing this, guys. You've got to be willing to lose her. Do you understand that concept? If she's not looking for anything romantic, okay, I've got to know that, and she's got to go after this date. Finish the date. Don't get angry with her. We're just not a match. Go and try another one. But if I don't, at this point, reveal my cards, and then I complain later on, oh, she's such a gold digger, man. She's just, she's just spinning me on, and she's, she won't let me kiss her. That's because you haven't revealed your intentions. So be clear, be black and white. And the easiest way to do it is by doing something called the questions game, okay? So I'll do it a little bit, and then I want one of you to do it. And this takes a very boring conversation and immediately puts it in the right direction. So I'll say, okay, Lizzie, I know all about your holidays and your backpacking, but listen, I wanna find out stuff that, like, maybe you don't tell many people, stuff that I would never guess, okay?
Okay.
Do you like playing games?
I do, yeah.
Oh, good. Are you fun and adventurous?
I would hope so.
See, qualification. Okay, cool. Well, let's just do something silly. In my family at Christmas time, we play the questions game, right?
Okay.
Are you up for playing the questions game? Just for 5 minutes.
Yeah, okay.
Now, the rules of the question game are that we're going to ask each other questions. They can't be the same question.
Right.
They've got to be interesting questions,
Okay.
so nothing boring, okay? And each question can have a sub-question because it's my game and that's my rule.
Right. Okay.
Want to play? Yes,
Yeah.
good, right. And then start by asking something very mundane, like cats or dogs, or when did you have your first boyfriend, or what's your favourite celebrity? So what's your favourite celebrity? What's your favourite masculine look?
Masculine.
Yeah.
Let's
Who
go
would
David Beckham.
Beckham. All right. Is it young Beckham or is it current Beckham?
Current Beckham.
Okay, cool. Your turn. And now she's going to ask me a question. All right, but it can't be the same question.
Okay.
And it can't be boring. That's another rule.
Boring.
So, yeah, make it something about relationships. Start easy.
I don't know. Give me an example.
Girls will often say, how many girlfriends have you had?
Okay.
Or they'll say, when did you have your first girlfriend? Or what kind of girl do you like? That's a very common one.
Okay, what type of girls are you into?
Okay, well, I really like Mediterranean, dusky, kind of gypsy, almost looking like Penelope Cruz.
Okay.
I just love the eyes, and I don't know, it's something very, very gypsy about it, yeah. So, we're into the topic of girlfriends and women. Now we're going to rack it up, okay? And for each question, you only have to do this for a few minutes. I want to take it to a more intimate level, yeah? So, example questions. How many boyfriends have you had? What do you like about men? What is it that you like about me? That's a very good one. So she has to vocalize it. You can then start getting more and more brave. It's up to you. And each one of you is going to feel a different level of comfort doing this, okay? So you might say, what's your fantasy? Or tell me the worst date you've ever been on. Tell me the craziest experience you've had. What's the craziest thing you've ever done in your life? And she'll say, what do you mean by crazy? And you can say, nothing too dirty, keep it clean. But, And you can talk about not former boyfriends, but you can talk about adventurous experiences, things that she wants to try. And there's going to reach a point where you both feel that it's verging on pretty sexual, yeah? Now, another common mistake guys make is to keep going. I've got one friend who loves just getting really verbally sexual with girls. And some girls really enjoy it. He finishes the date, maybe he kisses her, and then she doesn't text him back. Have you ever heard of that happening? Maybe you've done it online as well, where you've got really sexual with a girl online or through text. You might have sent some cheeky photos. She never meets up with you. Can you see why that might happen? Because you've burst the bubble, this amazing girlfriend sequence, through being too sexual, too on. And she might enjoy it for 5 minutes, but it's too much. So the idea here is just to make it a little bit sexual, all right? Let's give it a go with some of you. Actually, for this, can we use Lizzie's lovely friend? I'm terrible with names. Nina. This is Lizzie's girlfriend. She's called Nina. Thank you for helping us out. And when we were planning this project, I thought, right, either I could sit on the sofa with Lizzie and get it on, which you guys would love to see, I'm sure. Or I could ask Lizzie's girlfriend to kindly come down and see if she'd be up for just demonstrating some of the non-verbal techniques that I'm about to say. So you can actually see it for real. And she said, yeah, that's cool. So great stuff. We can actually seeing it being done for real, okay? This is not soft porn or like self-gratification. I know what you're thinking. It's all gone quiet. You're all like, yeah, go on, here we go. Woo-hoo! The guy at home is just like paused there, like, oh, okay. Woo! This is for educational purposes, gentlemen. Rise above the filth. Okay, so we're going to rack it up, but we're not going to carry on being verbal. So the opposite of verbal is non-verbal, yeah? That means I'm going to let her know that it's getting sexual, but I'm not going to carry on with the verbal filth. I'm going to use my eyes, my voice, touch, and proximity, how close I get to the girl. And this is all going to lead up to the magical moment, which usually at this point works, and that's the kiss. If you've done everything right up until this point, I would say 90% of girls, you can kiss them. And I'd really recommend kissing girls on a first date, because then they know what you want. No more complaining that she didn't know what you wanted, that you're the best friend. It's never going to happen. If you've kissed a girl on the first date, she knows what's going on, yeah? Okay. So the first thing is eye contact, okay? So there might be moments during this cocktail bar date where you stop talking and you just look at each other. And it might just be for 1 or 2 seconds, cheeky smile, and then you carry on talking. What does that do? Spikes it up, yeah? And it's very powerful, isn't it? You can already feel it. Very close, great, strong eye contact. Voice. You might suddenly start talking slower. And if you're a guy, you might suddenly start talking a bit deeper, and you might just leave pauses with a cheeky smile. See what it does? Straight away, the whole room's gone quiet. It works. So even if you're talking about the weather, you know, and I just love it when it snows. There you go. That's what films are made on, yeah? Okay, next one is getting closer. So let's say Lizzie's in control. She's leading this date. And again, for educational purposes. And I want you to, in a cheeky fashion, find excuses to get closer to your girlfriend, you know?
Okay, so
I'd say something like, oh, she's got plugs. So I go, have you got holes in your ears? Something like that. Touch the hair.
Using earrings, rings, tattoos. Imagine she's got a tattoo on her neck, or she's got one on her arm. Have a look at the arm.
I'd be like, so how far does that go up?
Yeah, very good. Do you have any more? Show me now. One that works every time for me is to subtly find out that she's stressed. Okay, so somehow touch her back and be like, oh my God, wow, this is really tense. Is that your Facebook muscle? You know, like, just give it a little squeeze. Oh my God, you spend far too long on the computer. And then you might stop and just carry on talking. Spike. All right? Now the vibe might be getting quite on, so you might have your arm around her or just on the sofa. I usually sit like that in the cocktail bar. And as she's talking about something maybe pretty bland again, like holidays, Lizzie, I want you to start doing like a gentle back massage. And don't draw attention to it. Just carry on talking.
Talking about holidays.
And yeah, and this is a little test, because if she accepts this at this point, it's on, okay? It's on. And you're going to combine it with seeing how floppy she is. So that, literally, you can do this, okay? Because if she's really stiff like this, there's no way you're going to kiss her. She's not happy with this date, something's gone wrong. If with me, it starts to feel like hallucinogenic drugs. Not that I've ever done hallucinogenic drugs, but it starts to feel in slow motion, and everything's floppy, and everything gets really close, and you're using your eyes, and you're using your voice. Now, at this point, I think, right, it's on. I can kiss her. But I'm not going to kiss her. I'm going to, remember, give her the gift of chasing me. So, Lizzie, I want you to tease moments where you could kiss her, but maybe point across the room, whisper something in her ear. Just get close to her face, but don't kiss her. Yeah. Smell is a good one. Like, wow, you smell really good. Point across, lean over. Can you lean past her? Yeah, that's a really cheeky one. Oh my God, look over there. Right by her face. It's so loud in this venue, I need to whisper in your ear. There you go. All right? Right, and already now, the hands on the back of the head or on the back of the neck or on the upper back. Floppy's there. You've noticed that she's looking at your lips. Golden ticket, all right? She's looking at your lips. She's doing that famous triangular gazing. Eye, lips, eye, lips. It's on, okay? Is this a heavy makeout? No. Is this a porn film? No. Can you just demonstrate going from like this floppy state, it's almost rocking back and forth. This is what happens to me on dates. It's almost like we're spending 2 minutes where we could kiss, but we don't kiss. And now a peck. And then pull away. And either I'll say, wow, that was crazy, or I can't believe that just happened. And then back to normal. Now you can be a bit more intimate so that you can carry on the back massage. 5 minutes more of conversation, maybe another little kiss. 5 minutes more of conversation. The common mistake now, has anybody seen it in a pub or a bar? These two, the happy couple, just like jump on each other in the corner. Guys are like, woohoo! Heavy makeout time, yeah? Because you think you're in. You think you've won. But we're not in this for makeouts, unless you're a teenager. Have a lot of makeouts, they're really good. I'm in it for way more than a makeout. So I'm just happy. The date's done. The first date's done. She's attracted to me, I'm attracted to her. We've got really physical now. We're basically, on the way to becoming an item if we don't fuck up the other dates. Now's time to sit in that kind of position, carry on talking, and leave her wanting more. So my last job on this first date is to plant those seeds for the next date, yeah? So maybe they talk about, oh, there's this really good gallery I want to go and check out, or there's this show I want to check out, or next Tuesday I'm going bike riding. Maybe we should check it out. Or, you said you love to cook Thai food. Maybe we can do that next Wednesday. Or they've talked about films. And she said, yeah, I'm going to bring a film over, Charlie Chaplin. It's really like old school, but funny. We can watch it next Thursday. So they've already decided on the plan. Does that make sense? Because that saves you a lot of text work. So don't forget to seed. Now, if you're a guy watching this thinking, I live with my parents, I'm going to have to find out how eventually to go back to her house, it's at this point that I work out logistics. Where does she live? Who does she live with? Does she have her own room? What's her kind of attitude to bringing guys back in the house? You can find out all these things really subtly, yeah? You just drop them into conversation. So, how far from the centre do you live? Okay, cool. And is it like a crazy student house? Are you with like 5 guys? Oh, okay, you live on your own. Okay, cool. Yeah? You're just thinking, right, planning for the next date. Thank you very much, girls. Give them a clap. That was beautiful. Okay, little breathing segment. Yeah, we'll take a question. Can we get the microphone to Douglas? I like Douglas. He's a man of action. He takes action.
Yeah, just a real quick question, actually.
When you're finishing that section, so you've been together in the pub or your second venue, you've had a little make-outs. How do you actually leave when you're physically separating and she's going to the tube, you're going to the tube? Because the traditional thing was, you go for a make-out there. I mean, do you give the girl a hug, or what would you normally recommend?
Thanks, because I forgot that slide, actually. We'll put that one in. So you've had the kiss, finish off the talking in the cocktail bar, and as you've already guessed from my model, don't take her home. I went through a year of, after that point, walk outside, stop a cab. She's like, get in the cab. She's still not sure. We go home. There's a lot of resistance because this is quite fast for most girls. Some girls will sleep with you, but we're talking girlfriend sequence, yeah? So I lost a lot of girls. They never texted me back. Can you see why? Because I was pulling too much. So Douglas is right. You have the kiss, have a little chat. You think in your head, good work, buddy. That's when I used to phone Anthony and be like, yep, she's on. Done the job. Run the train. And, yeah, be a gentleman. Walk her to the tube stop. Don't do anything crazy like walk her up miles back to her house. Put her in a cab, make sure she's getting home safe. Little quick kiss at the tube or the metro. A little trick, Douglas, that I use is not only a little kiss at the metro, but suddenly just pick her up. And lots of seduction coaches have noticed this. When you pick a girl up and she's going to go, oh my God, what are you doing? And they just put her back down again, it just creates this massive spike of emotion. It's very primitive, primeval, fatherly, but dominating. Do you know what I mean? It's a stroke of genius. If you want to spike, pick girls up. That's why guys that are good in nightclubs, amazing guys, just walk behind girls, pick them up, and girls feel this like awesome sense of adventure, yeah? And leave her wanting more. Go home. If you've done it really well, you'll get a text from the girl saying, thank you for a lovely evening. You know you're really in then, okay? If you're really good at this stuff, she'll start to chase you massively at this point, so you can kind of roll off, you can relax. She might bombard you with text, she might start ringing you. You know that she really likes you, yeah? If not, you have to do a bit more work to get her out again, but we're going to come on to that. I just want to finish off that bubble with a hypothetical situation, and that is that Lizzie, right then, wasn't nice and polite and friendly. She was beautiful, but let's imagine she was a princess. She was what some guys say, a bitch. And if you're in this game for long enough, and you do date very beautiful women, especially right here in London, you're going to meet women who present to you a certain type of behaviour. I'm not judging them and I'm not blaming them, because I think it's men's fault why these certain women have become like they are. Because if guys are buying these girls cars, taking them for dinners, giving them VIP treatment, and she's not even kissing him, you know? She's grown up conditioned to this behaviour, which I call princess behaviour. Now, there's only two options with princess behaviour. You're sitting down next to her, she's giving you some shit tests, and either you get reactive and you start, I hate women, she's a bitch, you know? You start disagreeing, you start arguing. Or the other alternative is to be a rock. And you know the best reaction to any test that a woman will ever give you? It's something that my friend Rob taught me. It's just to look at her and have a kind of a cocky smile on your face. And then just carry on, okay? So princess behavior, examples of princess behavior. She starts saying things to you like, do you do this all the time? Why are you single? You know, why don't you buy me a drink? I don't like your shirt. You know, you walk weird, or anything. She's going to be just throwing these little things out there. She's like, oh, this is not a very nice bar. Last week a guy took me to this really nice bar. Now, you could start trying to argue, or you could just go, okay. Anyway, you were telling me about your sister. Being a rock shows so many strengths, okay? It's very hard. I know, I've been there with some Russian girls I remember distinctly in Moscow. Man, it's like facing Tyson, yeah? She's super hot, but I hate to say it, it's not her fault. But society uses the word, she's a super bitch. All right? She's disagreeing with everything I say. She won't engage in conversation. She's really difficult. The only strategy I can tell you is to just remain calm. Because every other guy has probably taken the bait, all right? So be the guy that doesn't. Just ride it out.